Okay, this time we're taking a look at 4 Taurus small pocket Model 85s, but they've got some different names. This one's a Model 85 and 38 Special. It's an ultralight. This one's the same gun, just in a nickel finish instead of the blue finish. This one's a Model 851, which is basically a Model 85, but this one's a titanium, so it's an ultralight, and it has a titanium cylinder and titanium barrel, which reduces weight. This one also happens to have the shrouded hammer, which is kind of a neat one. It allows you to pull that hammer back, but it's not as exposed as a regular hammer like this one, where the hammer could snag on a pocket or something. Then last up we have a Model 327, which is the 327 Federal Magnum. In one of our other videos we looked at the Smith & Wesson that shoots 32 H&R Magnum, which was a great option for people because it gave them 6 shots. And recently Federal came out with the 327 Federal Magnum, which was basically designed to be the same diameter but give you some ballistics more like a 357. So this is a new one. It's kind of tough right now to get the ammo for it, but that'll pass, and this will be a very popular one again, mostly because again it gives you some good ballistics with 6 rounds in the cylinder instead of just 5. We mentioned that this one's a little different because it's a little lighter, so I'm going to bring out a scale here. We'll take a look at how much lighter it happens to be. We'll weigh them by themselves first. And just picking this one up, I've been playing with a bunch of lightweight revolvers today, and this one just feels heavy. We'll see how heavy it is. It's 1 pound, 0.04 ounces. Or excuse me, 1 pound, 0.4 ounces. So this one actually weighs almost as much as a loaded Smith & Wesson ultralight by itself. This one should weigh the same because it's basically the same gun, and it does. So it's good to know the bluing or the nickeling don't weigh anything. This one's very heavy. Wow. This one feels like a boat anchored since I've been picking up all these ultralights. And this one weighs 1 pound, 7 ounce, well, 1 pound, 7.2 ounces. Definitely small, but very heavy, all made out of steel. And then last we have this titanium ultraweight, which should be the lightest weight. And it's down to 14.2 ounces, so a couple ounces less than a pound. So this one's definitely lightweight. However, the disadvantage to that is that there's no gravity helping you. When this goes off, most of that recoil is going to go right back into your wrist and arm. So this one can be a little abusive to shoot. I just figured we'd do the same as we've done in other videos, and we'll put out 5 rounds of ammo. I'll just show again that 1 round weighs 0.4 ounces, 5 rounds weighs 2.2 ounces, so that brings our total weight for this one loaded to 1.4 ounces, which is about the same as a Smith & Wesson ultralight. This one, the medium weight one, weighs 1 pound, 2.6 ounces, which really isn't too bad. I think it's a good compromise between weight on your belt and less recoil when you're shooting. And then last up we have this one, all steel, 1 pound, 9.4 ounces. Actually this is a bad example because that's the wrong ammo, so I guess we can't really do this one. We just don't happen to have any of this ammo. It's a little tough to get right now. Boy, this thing's heavy, but I suspect this one will probably be the most comfortable to shoot. So while it may weigh a little bit more on your belt, when you're out at the range it'll be a little easier to deal with. So not a lot to say about Tauruses. I do own one. They're not my favorite revolvers. The one that I bought maybe 25 years ago now looked a lot like this Model 85. In fact, it's very, very similar. It's just a 20-year-old version of this one. The problem though is that one of these screws was loose all the time, and eventually I was shooting it and it just stopped shooting. And I took it to the gunsmith, and a couple of weeks later, well, they sent it off to South America. A couple of weeks later I got it back, and quite a few of the parts were replaced. But do you really want to depend on a gun that has a great warranty as part of its selling part? I'd rather have a gun that just didn't break on me, that didn't wear out so fast, and that's just something that the Tauruses at this point don't really have over the other brands, such as Ruger or Smith. One thing I'll note too, I think I missed this on the Smith & Wesson ones, these modern revolvers have a little key back here on the hammer as a safety thing, so you can turn this key and it'll stop the hammer from moving. Not my favorite thing. It's just something that you can forget about. If you've got kids, it's easier to, well, on paper it's easier to teach your kids to stay away from the guns than it is to try and trial-proof your guns, because it's just a difficult thing to do. And at that moment when you need this thing, having that key in there is just going to be difficult it's a tedious process. So that's just the modern revolvers. That's what we have to deal with all the lawyers out there. So these are 4 models of lightweight pocket revolvers from Taurus.